Eldermere, a city that never sleeps, a symphony of sirens and rumbling trains, the heartbeat of a metropolis where every corner holds a story, every alley a secret, a beacon of civilization, or so it seemed. Beneath the neon lights and towering skyscrapers, shadows lurked, waiting for the right moment to emerge. Detective Victor Harlow, a legend in the police department, a man who could sniff out a lie with a single glance, vanished, gone, without a trace. His presence was a constant, a reassuring figure in a city of chaos.
The day he disappeared was like any other, rain slicking the streets, the air thick with exhaust fumes and unanswered questions. The city moved on, unaware of the storm brewing beneath its surface. But that day, the city held its breath. An unspoken tension gripped the air, a sense that something was terribly wrong. Something had shifted, a darkness creeping in from the edges. The familiar became unfamiliar, the safe turned sinister.
Harlow wasn't just a detective. He was a guardian, a shield against the city's underbelly. His instincts were sharp, his dedication unwavering. He knew Eldermere's secrets, the whispers in its alleyways, the darkness beneath its glittering facade. He was the city's silent protector, always one step ahead of the shadows. His disappearance sent shockwaves through the precinct, a ripple of fear that spread through the city like wildfire. The unthinkable had happened, and no one knew why. The newspapers screamed his name, the headlines a testament to the growing panic. Every citizen felt the weight of his absence, the void he left behind.
Where was Victor Harlow? The question echoed through the city, a haunting refrain that refused to be silenced.
The investigation was immediate and frantic, a race against time. Every lead was pursued, every clue examined with painstaking detail. Every detective, every officer was thrown into the search. The city became a labyrinth of questions, each turn leading to more uncertainty. But as days bled into nights, hope dwindled. The relentless passage of time became a cruel reminder of their failure. The leads ran cold, each dead end another nail in the coffin of optimism. The once vibrant precinct now echoed with frustration and despair. The city that never sleeps was starting to lose its nerve. The disappearance of its guardian had left it vulnerable, exposed. The disappearance of Victor Harlow had exposed a raw undercurrent of fear, a chilling realization that even in the heart of civilization, darkness could claim anyone. The city's facade of invincibility was shattered, even one of their own. The legend of Victor Harlow had vanished, leaving behind a city forever changed. The weight of the city's fear settled heavily on Detective Inspector Eliza Monroe's shoulders. A protege of Harlow's, she had learned from the best, her instincts honed under his watchful eye. But nothing could have prepared her for this. The disappearance of her mentor, her friend, cut deep. It was personal.
Eliza pushed aside her grief, buried it beneath layers of steely determination. Harlow wouldn't want her to mourn. He'd want her to fight. He'd want her to find him.
Taking a deep breath, she stepped into his office, the air thick with the ghost of his pipe tobacco. His coat still hung on the back of the door, a silent testament to his abrupt departure. The police had combed through his apartment, but Eliza, driven by a gut feeling, insisted on seeing it again. Every detail mattered, every book, every photograph, every seemingly insignificant object could hold a clue. She spent hours there, her fingers tracing the spines of his well-worn books, her eyes scanning the faded photographs on his desk.
And then she saw it. A seemingly insignificant detail easily overlooked. A single chess piece, a black knight, lay overturned on the otherwise meticulously arranged chessboard. A subtle message, a silent plea for help. Harlow wouldn't have left it like that. He always played white.
The overturned night was more than just a clue. It was a message, a whisper from Harlow in the silence. It was as if the piece itself was trying to tell a story, a tale of sudden disruption and chaos. The night, a symbol of strategy and foresight, lay defeated, hinting at a battle lost without a fight. It spoke of an abrupt interruption, an unexpected visitor. The door, left ajar, suggested haste, a hurried departure, or an uninvited guest. Shadows danced in the dim light, creating an eerie atmosphere that hinted at secrets and untold stories. Eliza's gut told her this wasn't a random act. It was personal, calculated. Someone wanted Harlow silenced. Her instincts, honed by years of experience, screamed that this was a deliberate move, a chess game where every piece had a purpose. The determination in her eyes was unmistakable. She was ready to uncover the truth.
The apartment, though dusted for fingerprints, yielded another clue. The dust, a silent witness to the events that transpired, held secrets waiting to be uncovered. Every speck of dust, every fingerprint was a piece of the puzzle. A faint impression on the armrest of Harlow's favorite armchair, almost invisible to the naked eye. It was a subtle mark, one that could easily be overlooked by an untrained eye. But to Eliza, it was a beacon, a sign that pointed to something significant. But Eliza, trained by the best, recognized it instantly. Her sharp eyes, always on the lookout for the smallest details, caught the faint impression. It was a clue that spoke volumes, a silent testimony to the events that had unfolded. The mark of a serpent, its scales meticulously etched into the leather. It was a symbol, one that carried weight and meaning. The intricate design suggested a level of craftsmanship and intent that was hard to ignore.
It was a symbol, one she had never seen before, but one that spoke of a hidden world, a dangerous game being played in the shadows. The symbol was ancient, its origins shrouded in mystery. It hinted at a world beyond the ordinary, a world where power and secrecy reigned supreme. The serpent became her starting point. It was a thread that she could follow, a lead that could unravel the mystery. The more she delved into its meaning, the more she realized its significance. Days turned into nights as Eliza delved into the city's underbelly, following whispers and rumors. She scoured police databases, interviewed informants, and pieced together fragments of information. The city's dark corners held secrets, and Eliza was determined to uncover them, and haunted the city's seediest bars. These places, filled with shadows and whispers, were gold mines of information. Every conversation, every glance, held potential clues.
The serpent, she learned, was the calling card of a shadowy organization known only as the Silent Order. This group, shrouded in mystery, operated in the shadows, their influence felt but never seen. The serpent was their mark, a symbol of their reach and power, an organization whispered about in hushed tones, rumored to control everything from the docks to the city council. Their influence was pervasive, their power undeniable. They were the unseen hand that guided the city's fate, an organization that operated with impunity, its reach extending far beyond the grasp of the law. They were untouchable, their operations hidden behind a veil of secrecy. Their power was both awe-inspiring and terrifying.
The deeper Eliza dug, the more layers she uncovered. Each document, each piece of evidence, added to the growing picture of a vast and intricate web of deceit and power. The more convinced she became that Harlow's disappearance was no ordinary case. It was a piece of a larger puzzle, a puzzle that threatened to expose the city's darkest secrets. He had stumbled onto something big, something that threatened to expose the city's carefully constructed facade of order. The city's bright lights and towering buildings hid a dark underbelly, a world of corruption and power plays. And now, he was paying the price. The cost of uncovering the truth was high, and Harlow had become a casualty in a game much larger than himself. Eliza knew that to find him, she would have to navigate this dangerous world, risking everything in the process. Eldermere Station, a hulking behemoth of steel and glass, a testament to the city's relentless progress. Its towering structure and sleek design were symbols of modernity, a beacon of the city's ambition and forward momentum. But beneath its gleaming exterior lay a network of abandoned tunnels, forgotten relics of a bygone era. These tunnels, once bustling with life and activity, now stood silent and desolate, echoing the whispers of the past. It was here, in the belly of the beast, that Eliza found her next clue. The air was thick with dust and the scent of decay, but her resolve was unwavering.
A tip from an informant, a whisper in the dead of night, led me to a crumbling brick wall hidden behind a maze of rusted pipes and discarded railway sleepers. The informant's words echoed in my mind, urging me to press on.
Scrawled across the wall, barely visible in the flickering light of her torch, was a message: Cerberus watches. The words sent a shiver down her spine, their ominous tone impossible to ignore. Below it, a crudely drawn map, its lines leading deeper into the labyrinthine tunnels. Cerberus. In Greek mythology, the three-headed hound guarding the gates of the underworld. A fearsome creature, a guardian of secrets. But here, in the heart of Eldermere, it meant something far more sinister. The name carried weight, a shadowy presence that loomed over the city's underbelly.
Cerberus, I realized, was a code name, an alias used by a high-ranking member of the Silent Order, a name whispered in fear, a figure cloaked in mystery. Someone who knew about Harlow, someone who wanted to make sure he stayed silent. The stakes were higher than ever, and the danger more palpable.
The map, though faded and incomplete, pointed to a specific location deep within the tunnels, a place known only as the Devil's Throat, a name that conjured images of darkness and peril, a place even the bravest of cops wouldn't dare venture. Its reputation was enough to keep most at bay. Legend had it that the tunnels were haunted, the air thick with the whispers of the dead. Every step Eliza took seemed to stir the spirits, their voices a constant reminder of the dangers that lurked. But Eliza, driven by a fierce determination to find Harlow, refused to be deterred. Her courage was her shield, her resolve her weapon. The Devil's Throat held the key to finding her mentor. She knew that every clue, every step, brought her closer to the truth. She could feel it in her bones. The answers were there, hidden in the shadows, waiting to be uncovered. The Devil's Throat led Eliza not to a mythical beast, but to another kind of monster, a man. A name whispered in hushed tones within the concrete walls of Eldermere Penitentiary: Julian Cross.
A criminal mastermind, a puppet master who pulled the strings from his cell, his influence reaching far beyond the prison walls.
Cross was said to be the architect of some of the city's most audacious crimes, his fingerprints on every major heist, every assassination, every act of violence that stained the city's conscience. He was a ghost, a whisper in the shadows, his true face hidden behind a veil of secrecy and fear. Even the most hardened wardens spoke his name with a tremor in their voices.
Eliza, armed with a warrant and a steely resolve, sat across from him in the stark interrogation room. The air crackled with unspoken tension, the silence punctuated by the distant clang of prison doors.
Cross, his eyes like chips of ice, listened intently as she laid out her case. He offered no resistance, no denial. just a knowing smile that sent shivers down her spine.
Cerberus sends his regards. He finally spoke, his voice a low, gravelly murmur. He wants you to know that you're playing a dangerous game, detective. One you can't win.
Eliza, unflinching, met his gaze. Then tell Cerberus, she said, her voice steady, that I'm just getting started.